feel like there's lore to this album and there's a lot to dig into. And what's up, friends? My name's Kevin Basset. I'm a singer, a songwriter, and a producer. Today, we're going to be looking at Dawn FM by The Weeknd. The Weeknd's a great artist. I've been jamming with him since Can't Feel My Face, which isn't the earliest time to be jamming with him, but that's when I got introduced, and I love his sound. I think he has a phenomenal vocal, so I'm excited to hear this new album. I've heard a few tracks from it, but I haven't heard everything. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Helps a lot, promotes me, helps me make money from this, and lets other people discover the music that I make and that I help others make. If you haven't checked out my music, I do that. It's great. Giovanni's a really fun album, and I think people who like The Weeknd would also enjoy it. It's not the same by any means. It just, it has a fun vibe. So let's start. Dawn FM, the song Dawn FM off the album Dawn FM by The Weeknd. I really like how the synths on his vocal blend with the synths going on. It's really cool. Excellent. And I like the ambient noises at first. Okay, that track's awesome. I really like that as an intro track. Kind of painting us in this kind of fictional universe with this fictional radio broadcast system. Very intelligent. A lot of great synth work on that song. It sounded so modern and yet classic at the same time, drawing from the 80s inspiration, but taking it to this new era. I really liked the ambient bird and insect noises at the beginning of the track. I felt that was very fitting. I felt it worked really well. The vocals were great. The effects they put on them, the vocoders were really well placed. It just felt awesome, and I loved the little intro. I think that sounded like Jim Carrey, and I liked his little, "Hey, welcome to the light." It sounded a little eerie, but also kind of welcoming and soothing. Excited to see what's to come on Gasoline. I'm dozing off to REM. I'm trying not to lose my faith. I really like the vocal he's doing on this song. It's odd, but it's cool. I can tell it's kind of like dreary and dark, but it kind of reminds me of The Cure. The vocal layering on this song is so brilliant. There's not a second of it I haven't adored, and it surprises me and it takes me in different directions. It's so good. My body in these sheets and pour out the gasoline. Man, entering 2022 like a boss. That song was brilliant. I really liked the groove on it. I liked the different vocal approaches changing in between the verse and chorus. I thought that was interesting. It was fun. It was flashy. I really liked the different vocal layers going on. I liked the kind of more shouted with a little bit of echo, gasoline. That was cool. And they also had kind of whispers at certain points. They had these vocals risen an octave higher using a pitch shifter. I just feel like they pulled out all of the stops in terms of vocal layers on this song, but it never felt too much or cliche. I think it's because there were so few instruments interfering with the vocal. Reminds me of the type of vocal layering that I did on my song All That You Wanted off of Giovanni. The synths were really fun and interesting. I feel like this is what I wanted Donald Glover Presents, that Childish Gambino album, to be. I like this sound a lot. It's just so interesting and cool. It's not just 80s, it's like something else. It's great though. It's wild. How Do I Make You Love Me? Next song. That was brilliant. I really liked how that built and built, and then it went to this instrumental part that was super cool. Oh, this is I just really liked that moment. That was so well done. I really like that double hit on the end of the chorus and on the verse. In end of the chorus, it's done with the snare, and then on the verse, it's done with that synth. And it's so interesting and so popping at me, you know? And it changes that groove in such a fun and interesting way. That's so good. I really like how that ending is experimental and kind of just draws stuff away and then leads into the groove for Take My Breath. That song's so fun. I love the arpeggiators he used. I love how his vocal sings and sits on top of those arpeggiators in such a beautiful way. Everything's catchy from the pre-chorus to the verse to the chorus to the instrumental hook that plays in between the pre-chorus and chorus. Yeah, I really like basically everything about that song. It like inspires me to make music. I really like the like rapid staccato snare that goes on. That's so fascinating. At first, that outro was weird to me. I was like, oh, are they drawing away? Is this going to make me feel sleepy? But then it kind of brought itself back in and started doing interesting things. And there was that breathing that was just so fascinating. And there's just all these really interesting parts. I feel like in this album, he's consistently made interesting choices. Also, the panning from ear to ear that goes on in those synths on this and the last song is brilliant. I think it's really created this immersive atmosphere. Impressed. Color me impressed. Let's do Take My Breath. I've heard this one before. I did a reaction to it. It's still great, though. I love this song. Music video is sick, too. I saw the fire in your eyes. I really like that synth that's doing like do 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 do. Plays really well with that vocal. They have a good counter melody going on. I love how the synths play off of each other and play off of the vocal and play off of the drums. It just all kind of interlocks really, really well together. And I like how certain synths only show up for certain parts, but you're essentially keeping like the same thing going, the same grooves going. The background is similar, but it evolves. That was cool. I really like that. I like the extension of it. I think there were really interesting points of development. I like how everything builds and builds and builds. A lot of great synth sounds. I like how the breath kind of moved from the right to the left and back. Made you feel kind of surrounded. The implication for the song, again, is so fascinating, this idea of literally taking someone's breath away. It's such a fun spin on a cliche. The extended version adds. I think the single version was still good. I still like the single version. I like the length of the single version. This did feel like a little long. I don't know if I prefer it to the single version, but I do think it gave its own flair, and it made this album kind of have something interesting to it because we have this longer version of a song that we might have been too familiar with by now. Let's check out Sacrifice. I love how the chorus brings all of the ear candy in together. You know, the dum dum dum. Yeah, and it has a dum 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 dum. Everything kind of comes together all at once. It's really cool. The way they change up energy within the songs, taking instruments away, putting instruments in, layering vocals. So good. I love how the instruments cut in and out. I love where they bring the instruments in. From that first pre-chorus where they take out that main riff, the when that cuts out and it just goes to like the synth and his vocals, that's brilliant. The work throughout the second verse is so good. When everything cuts out, drums come back in, bass comes back in. It's real masterwork in changing energy throughout a song. I think anyone who's trying to produce music should look at this song as an example in terms of how to arrange in a way that keeps an exciting song exciting throughout. When I was listening to the verse and pre-chorus, I was thinking to myself, maybe this isn't the catchiest song on the record, but then he gets to that chorus and it gets catchy. Sacrifice. This might be the best album of 2022 so far. Tale by Quincy.
I will never forget watching my mother get put in a straitjacket.
That was an intense story to tell, Quincy. The bass on that was sick, and the instrumentals. Great melodies. Really great arrangement. Weird narration. Liked it, but was different. Yeah, let's do it out of time. I look back now. I love that flute sounding synth that's in that higher register. The doo-doo-doo. It's cool. It's rad. Clap, clap. So cool. That whole chorus is just brilliant. Way to be an absolute creepo, Jim Carrey. Jiminy Cricket, he does such a good job there. Oh man. What the F? Just like the song says, you're out of time. Oh, brilliant. I love the way they bring in this radio feeling on this album. It's so well done. It's so interesting. Yeah, that song was brilliant. Very like baby making music right there. Smooth, chill, but still has enough energy to keep you awake and enjoy what's going on. I really liked that sequence. It seemed like the bridge where there was that harmony stack of out of time. Yeah. Probably my favorite harmony stack of 2022. Yeah, great bass line on that. It was similar to the song from before, but still cool. I like the way they utilize similar synths throughout this whole album, but they introduce new things too, like that fluty synth that I mentioned in between songs, in between the song. Great stuff. Here we go again with Tyler, the Creator. I love how rhythmic this song is without percussion. Like the vocal is establishing that rhythm in such a fun way that when it becomes melodic, it feels like the whole energy changes, even though the instruments are staying basically the same. You gon' sign this prenup. You gon' sign this prenup. You gon' sign this prenup. The number one station to free your soul, huh? Those harmonies there are so sick. I love how he has this amazing music for the radio station. Like there's a fictional radio station, he makes baller music for their catchy little slogan. So great. That's so thick, that harmony. Tyler's verse is great. I really like the ad-libs that are employed. How that doubled vocal layer on the ends of words, and I like how it has kind of this shout background quality that we've seen before on the record, and then at the end it has that distortion to it when he repeats the line, "You best sign this prenup." And I like that juxtaposition where he's kind of saying like, oh, this is true love, we don't need people to get involved. Now that we do have people involved though, you're signing this prenup just in case it ends. It's like, yeah, I love you, but I'm keeping my security going. Which is intense. It's a very intense idea, but it's well expressed. And I think that kind of juxtaposition is happening on the Weeknd's parts of this song as well. That juxtaposition of rhythm and melody going along there. I like when the harmonies come in with that kind of it's great. Brilliant stuff. The way the rhythm is so prevalent without percussion in this song reminds me a lot of Jail, because Jail doesn't have the drums come into the very end. Jail off of Kanye's Donda. Best Friends. I like that bright synth at the beginning. It's so cool. Dun, dun. Sex as friends no more. You don't wanna have sex as friends no more. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is the line, "You don't want to have sex as friends no more"? Because if so, interesting choice of words. That's evocative. That transition's amazing. We are, do, 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 do. Awesome. I loved it. I like how that ending chorus builds on the harmony, but it takes out a lot of other instruments. I think that's a really fun technique to emphasize a certain part in a song, is to take away other things. Like if you want people to pay attention to the drums, take away everything but the drums, and people will listen to the drums. You can guarantee it because there's nothing else there to listen to. If you want people to listen to harmonies, take away things that could distract people from the harmonies. Yeah, great bass lines on that. The idea of the song is fascinating. I think it's like kissing the homies to bed, having sex as friends. I don't know though. I don't know what he's meaning by it. Yeah, cool synths, cool harmony work. That one's stuck in my head. I don't know if I want it stuck in my head. It's just so provocative. Gets people going. Is there someone else? Let's hear this one. I think I'm going to like this one, hearing it as it is. Oh, I also like how that last one built, how it had like the low bass thing coming in and like the brighter synths and then the percussion building on top of that. Like I liked that slow development. It worked really, really well. A lot of the energy changes and instrument additions and subtractions throughout this album have been choice. Choice in that sense. Is there someone else? I think I'm going to like this one, just based off the transition into it from the last song. I really liked the chop chipmunk vocals at the beginning of this track. Very well done, very fun, very interesting, very Kanye. If I ain't with you, I don't wanna be. I love the clarity of that snare. It feels like things are drawing back in that high end. Maybe they're using a compressor that like takes stuff out of its zone. It feels just like it bounces through in a really clear way. Some of the best transitions on this album. What an album. What a flipping album. Yeah, Is There Someone Else is great. Is there someone else I know? Not my favorite track from the album, but it's really fun. I really like the spooky vibe it gives, Almost feels eerie. I like the arpeggiated synths there at the end. They're very engaging. Good song. Don't have a lot to say on it, but it was good. Starry Eyes, click. I love the way the synths in that intro draw back. It's like it like cuts in really interesting ways and it like dampens really severely. It's fun. And the vocals are so catchy. The melody's so pretty. It feels like it should be a single, but there's no way this one's a single, right? Man, it's good. And I wanna feel you close, but you're defeated, baby. That track's beautiful. The way he kind of vamps on top of that arpeggio, the back then I was starry-eyed, now I'm so cynical. So cool. I think that idea is so fascinating. Kind of basking in cynicism when you used to be starry-eyed. That contrast, it's great. Yeah, good song. I really liked it. I thought the melodies were so beautiful on it. Every Angel is terrifying. Not as much energy change on Starry Eyes, but the melody was exciting. Every Angel is terrifying. Let's check it out. When the applause cuts out and it goes to that arpeggio synth, that's so insane. So cool. And an experience you will never forget. Don't say we didn't. I was just sold my afterlife, which is a weird thing to be sold, but I appreciate it. It was interesting. I like how on this album, even the skits are musical and fascinating. It's indulgent without being boring. And it's still catchy. You know, like the melodies and that were still good. Interesting art that's being created here. Don't Break My Heart.
Take it anymore, take it anymore. I can take another heartbreak.
I like how that second verse starts with that low pass filter on the percussion. Sounds really engaging and mysterious and draws your focus in. Great.
Don't break my heart. Don't let me go.
I love that synth that's doing the kind of sounds distorted and harsh. It's cool. And I really like how he changes up his vocal on that chorus with the can't take it anymore. Like kind of uses that weird deeper effect that's kind of bending the note in a fun way. I can't do a great impression of it, but I like how he does it. It's fascinating. Great synth work on that. I like kind of the spoken word part. Unless I'm tripping, there was a spoken word part. Yeah, a lot of interesting changes in percussion. I noticed on this one that the hats were more prevalent during the chorus. I think it was to add the excitement during the chorus because you're adding a layer of high end. I liked it. I Heard You're Married with Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne.
If you don't love, oh no, then do yourself a favor and just.
I really like the moment when that synth cuts out and the bass drums and vocal go for a second. And then I also like the background vocal. It's like the oh. It's awesome.
I knew that this was too good to be true.
I like how that groove goes with the vocals, like too good to be true. Like the synth matches, like right on with the percussion and bass as well. Like everything just matches up on that groove.
I can't be with you. No, I can't be with you. You're too deceiving, girl.
Was that already a single, or is that just like a plan to be radio single? It just felt like one to me. I really like the bridge and outro. It's kind of the same thing. The I can't be with you, I can't be with you, you're so deceiving, girl. Quick story time. I was going out with a girl one time, and she wasn't married, but she had a boyfriend, and I didn't know that. And once I learned it, I was like, I can't be with this girl. She's a cheater, you know? Like, I don't want to be with someone who's like that. If you cheat on him, you're going to cheat on me. So I didn't even want to, like, try to break it up. People asked me about it afterwards, and I was like, I wasn't going to be with her. She's a cheater. You know, I can't be with you. You're too deceiving. So Weeknd is teaching us a valuable lesson there. You don't want to be with a cheater. Also, I really liked how Lil Wayne came in on that chorus after his rap part. You know, he just kind of interlocked with the vocals and did his own little runs and everything. I also liked the vocoded vocal as a background. I thought that was a really interesting add coming into that chorus directly after the Lil Wheezy part. Yeah, really interesting vocal developments throughout that whole ending section. Tons of interesting things they've done on this. The vocal production on this album has been phenomenal, in my opinion. Less Than Zero. Let's check it out.
'Cause I can't get.
What a catchy chorus. I can. That's so cool. I also like the Less Than Zero. That's cool. Lots of great stuff going on here. Also, wasn't expecting an acoustic guitar to start out the last song, basically, on this album. Where did that come from, you know? I really like that moment where the synth takes over doing the main chorus melody. It sounds so cool. It's just a brilliant moment. And I really like the synth they're using. I like the way it has a little bit of fuzz to it. And it's kind of in that high end.
I'll always be less than zero.
Cool. I really like the acoustic guitar on that. And I like the moments when we cut away and we got back to that acoustic guitar. One at the kind of beginning of that last chorus. And then at the end again. I like the emphasis of less than zero. Less than zero. It's cool. I think that's like the catchiest chorus on this whole album. It's so memorable. The, I can get you out of my head. And you also can't get like the melody out of your head. I feel like I almost wish the song was called that, you know, because it's so catchy. Quality piece of music right there. Probably my favorite song on the album. It's very refreshing. You know, it's the kind of song that makes you want to like listen to it again and listen to the album again because you feel refreshed, you feel renewed. Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's the fact that they add that acoustic guitar when we haven't heard it for so long, and it blends so well with the synths. Really intelligent blend of the organic and electronic in that one. Feels refreshing. Last song, Phantom Regret by Jim. Last track. I don't think it'll be much of a song.
And your phantom regret hasn't let it go yet. You may not have died in the way that you might.
I do not know if Jim Carrey was meant to be soothing and transcendental or slightly creepy. Either way, he succeeded. Yeah, I feel like this album, more than just a piece of music, is a piece of art. It was experimental without ever reaching that overindulgence point where it stopped being interesting. You know, it didn't ever get too experimental. It was pretty constantly entertaining. It used a lot of pop techniques to maintain a fascination. Even the skits had interesting musical ideas going on. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Donda in the way that there's so much going on and there's so much interest generated by the album that it's hard to really latch on to any individual track because the experience itself is just something separate. Very well produced. I really liked the synth work throughout this album. Less Than Zero made me think, wow, there should have been more acoustic guitar on this album. But also maybe there shouldn't have, because when it comes in that moment at the end, it feels so refreshing and organic. The features were really good. I liked Tyler's probably the most of the two, of the rather four people who featured on this. Yeah, I just really liked the way he sounded against those synths, and I liked his content. Less Than Zero is probably the favorite track. No bad tracks. Nothing I would skip consistently, except maybe the sketches/skits. But maybe I wouldn't. Some of them I thought were interesting, like the ad for the Afterlife. I thought that was pretty fascinating. I feel like there's lore to this album and there's a lot to dig into and kind of dig deeper into. Just, you know, how a picture paints 1,000 words, right? I feel like this album spawns interest and intrigue. So yeah, I like it. It was a cool album. Definitely my vibe. Probably listen to it a few more times just to really sink my teeth in. Great way to start the new year. I'm excited for 2022, what it has to bring in terms of music. And this is starting out at the top. I mean, nothing really else to go against it, but still a great piece to put on top at first. I recommend you check out my latest album, Giovanni. I released it this last October, which is crazy that it's been 3 months since then. I also have a song with Harley Swisher. Our group duo is Jack Jack, and we put out a cover of Oh What a Beautiful Morning. I think it's very good. I think you'll enjoy it. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, help the algorithm kind of pick this up. I'm an artist, musician, trying to make great things, and your support makes it possible for me to continue to make a lot of great things. I appreciate you all, and Yeah. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Catch you on the flip.
Have you ever felt this burning desire that tells you you're the king of the moment? These moments won't last forever, so let's take full advantage